The Russian military conducted an anti-satellite weapon test earlier this week, resulting in a cloud of debris in orbit. The experiment took place 310 miles above the Earth's surface. In the event of a catastrophic collision, astronauts on board the International Space Station or ISS are instructed to seek shelter in their docked spacecraft. The missile annihilated a Soviet Tselina-D class satellite in orbit around the Earth in 1982. In light of recent events, Elon Musk issued a warning about Russia. Watch the video above to learn more. Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting video from eMotion. In this video, we go over Elon Musk's final terrifying warning to Russia to stop copying SpaceX. But before we get into the details, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you never miss a video from us. So without further ado, let's take a look. After Russia tested a new weapon that blew up a satellite and left a cloud of debris in orbit, Elon Musk issued a terrifying warning. The US government responded by branding Moscow's actions dangerous and irresponsible. However, given previous debris-generating anti-satellite weapon tests conducted by China, India, and the US, the Russian Defense Ministry denied the allegations and accused the US of hypocrisy. Others, on the other hand, see a far more serious issue than satellites exploding in space. For example, after The Verge tweeted Russian President Vladimir Putin's statement, Putin stated in a speech to school children about artificial intelligence on September 4, 2017, that whoever becomes the leader in this field will rule the world. Musk responded the next day, confirming his previous warnings with the words, "It starts." In another tweet, Musk stated, "Musk has been warning about the dangers of AI-powered robots for years." He even predicted scary outcomes similar to those seen in the Terminator. Musk also predicted in another tweet that artificial intelligence could lead to a third world war. In the near future, China, Russia, and all countries will have strong computer science. Musk tweeted, "I believe national competition for AI superiority is the most likely cause of World War III." Meanwhile, according to Dmitry Rogozin, director of Roscosmos, SpaceX, which is working on the Starlink space program, has been accused of posing a security threat to Russia. "It's all history for the special forces," Rogozin said in an interview with Gazeta Russia. These technologies will be beneficial in transporting highly skilled individuals from one continent to another. This is not to say that humans will be able to fly across the ocean in a matter of minutes. Dmitry Rogozin, the director of Russia's space agency Roscosmos, has warned that Elon Musk's SpaceX Starlink space program could pose a security threat to Russia. This discussion took place against the backdrop of the US government having already provided SpaceX with over $900 million in funding for Starlink, with subsidies in the next budget expected to total around $20 billion. The question becomes, why does the US government require this? Rogozin discussed the program. Because in addition to disseminating the internet, this type of spacecraft can manage cruise missiles, recalibrate their flying duties in mid-flight, control special forces, and run an agent network. Thanks to SpaceX's Starlink satellite broadband constellation, much of the world now has satellite internet access. Musk's Starlink initiative aims to provide internet access to nearly everyone on the planet via a growing network of private satellites orbiting above the Earth. Thousands of mass-produced tiny satellites in low Earth orbit will eventually connect with specific ground transceivers to form the constellation. SpaceX has launched approximately 1,740 Starlink satellites, including the Tintin A and B demo satellites. They plan to launch up to 60 more Falcon 9 rockets per flight in 2021, with launches as frequently as every 2 weeks. If you're interested in other fascinating things about Elon Musk and Tesla, then make sure to check out our video on Elon Musk announces 3 new Teslas for 2023. You can go check this out after the video. In 2019, SpaceX intends to launch the first 12,000 satellites into 3 orbital shells, 1,440 at 340 miles. The second shell consists of 2,825 V-band satellites at a height of 690 miles, while the third shell consists of 7,500 V-band satellites at a height of 210 miles. The number of satellites can increase to 42,000 in the future. Cruise missiles, for example, can travel thousands of miles but must rely on multiple guidance systems, including satellite course data. The Russian 3M-54 caliber cruise missile, for example, has a range of approximately 930 miles and employs, among other systems, satellite data communications. Russian officials are concerned that Starlink could be used to insert incorrect navigation data into a cruise missile in flight. Furthermore, Starlink satellites may be used in the future as a backup for a dedicated military force. Several countries, including the United States, Russia, China, and India, have anti-satellite weapons capable of destroying military satellites in the event of a conflict. Russia has made significant investments in anti-satellite weapons, including MiG-31 Foxhound fighters outfitted with anti-satellite missiles and S-500 mobile missile systems to counter new Western assets. These weapons may have become ineffective if there were a large number of Starlink satellites. Dmitry Rogozin also claimed that Starlink's internet transmissions may contain purely political and most likely anti-Russian content, and that it may be used as a conduit for Western propaganda broadcasts. The claims were made after Russian lawmakers passed legislations late in 2020 restricting Starlink's operation in the country, ensuring that internet traffic in the country would be handled by Russia-based telecoms operators. In January 2019, the United States Air Force Research Laboratory demonstrated a 610 megabits per second data link to a Beechcraft C-12 Huron aircraft in flight, indicating that SpaceX has already collaborated with the U.S. military. In addition, the U.S. Air Force successfully tested a Starlink connection on an AC-130 gunship in late 2019. During a live-fire exercise in 2020, the U.S. Air Force used Starlink to support its Advanced Battlefield Management System. The Starlink system was linked to a variety of air and ground assets, including the Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker. There is without a doubt room for collaboration. In the late 2010s, the U.S. military refocused its attention on space warfare. In December 2019, the Space Force was established as a new branch. Since then, Russia has expressed its concern through a variety of media outlets. According to reports, Almaz-Antey, a major Russian defense contractor, believes the U.S. Air Force's unmanned X-37B rocket is a covert space bomber capable of dropping nuclear bombs from orbit. While the X-37 and other aircraft based on similar technologies have been proposed in the past, this time it comes from someone who knows what he's talking about. Several Elon Musk companies, most notably Space Force, are capable of conducting military operations in space. The U.S. military plans to spend $48 million in rocket freight, a program that could allow large cargo to be transported around the world in less than an hour, with SpaceX's Starship spacecraft unquestionably leading the pack. As a result, Russia and China are concerned that SpaceX, specifically the Starlink program, could be used for military purposes with minor modifications. The rapid expansion of the Starlink program, which is funded by the US government, lends credence to this point of view. Another piece of information emerges just as people are becoming accustomed to the idea of how space companies will travel into space and successfully land on Mars to conduct research. Currently, it's clear that space companies want to research and explore nearly all of the planets in space, not just the Moon and Mars. Russia is currently working on developing a new nuclear spacecraft capable of landing on Jupiter's surface. The journey from Earth to Mars takes at least 5 to 7 months, and by the time you arrive on Mars, your muscles must have been beaten by extreme exhaustion caused by weightlessness. So, how long will it take Russia's astronauts in the nuclear spaceflight to fly from Earth to Jupiter? Another factor to consider is whether the astronauts will make it back to Earth from the planet alive. Pioneer 10, the first spacecraft to reach Jupiter in 1973, was followed by Pioneer 11 a year later. These probes discovered the planet's magnetosphere and mostly fluid interior, as well as took the planet's first close-up photos. Jupiter, the Sun's fifth planet, has been explored by robotic spacecraft, the first of which was Pioneer 10 in 1973 and has been followed by 8 more robotic spacecraft as of 2016. All of these missions, with the exception of 2, were NASA flybys that conducted extensive observations and took photographs without landing or entering orbit. As a result of these probes, Jupiter is now the most visited planet in the solar system. On July 5, 2016, Juno became the second probe to enter Jupiter's orbit. Due to Jupiter's harsh radiation environment and massive fuel requirements, it's difficult to launch a spacecraft to the planet on a regular basis. In 1979, the Voyager 1 and 2 probes paid a visit to the planet to study its moons and ring system. On Europa, they discovered volcanic activity as well as aqueous ice. Both Cassini and New Horizons are Jupiter exploration missions. Roscosmos also announced that its space tug, which transports humans or equipment from one orbit to another, will embark on an interplanetary mission in 2030. Zeus is a spacecraft energy module capable of propelling heavy cargo through space. It's in essence a mobile nuclear power plant. Due to new technology that's currently being researched, spaceships will be able to accelerate using solar power and gravity in the future. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. If you liked it, please share it and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content and up-to-date information. We hope to see you again in the next video.